LJL2020 サマースプリットウィーク3、まもなく次の試合バーニングコア VS デトネーションフォーカスミの試合が始まろうとしております。さあメアちゃん、こちらどこに注目してますか？
そうですね、先ほどの試合では惜しくも負けてしまいましたけど、やっぱ DFM も調子だいぶ先週とかと比べたら全然戻ってきてるのかなという感じがしたので、きっとこの一戦は絶対
All right, getting into the last match for today. It's going to be Burning Core taking on DFM as Burning Core returns to bat versus DFM. Now, unfortunately for Burning Core, but I suppose fortunately for DFM fans, DFM looked good in that last game and did look like they were contenders. They looked like teams that were up to bat. So when I see teams like that play, or when I see teams like DFM and they're playing to form, I a little bit worry for the people below them. So work cut out for them there. But that being said, I'm happy to see DFM has not lost all hope. They looked coherent. They looked like they were playing together. Even if it was an unfortunate loss, definitely was a hard-fought one. And definitely had a couple opportunities where they easily could have been, or, you know, had things gone different ways, easily could have gone back in their favor. So, we'll have to see if Burning Core can come into this one ready to battle, or if DFM are going to add one more win to their belt. Will remain to be seen for now, but as far as this matchup is concerned, had it been in week 2 or after their game in week 1, I would have been more inclined to give BC the favor here. But as I'm looking at it now, it's very hard for me to say that in earnest that I think BC is going to, or has a very, very strong chance in this one. I think they can. They definitely are a team that has that kind of capability, but with the DFM we just saw last game, even though they did lose, I'd have to, and just given their history, it's a team you have to look at as a contender here. Although, that being said, DFM are coming in off of a loss, and a hard-fought one can sometimes be a little bit demoralizing. I'm hoping that DFM's resolve kind of pulls through, and they're able to really look for a way back into this one to try and close out today, at least with one win. I mean, DFM are still a consistent, or still a good team, and if you're only accruing losses to Sengoku and V3, you know, the top 3 teams in the region, it's not a bad look. You have nothing to be ashamed of. It was the games against some of the lesser teams that just looked a little scrambly that were like the worrying ones, but now we're back to offline, and it looks like DFM are back to form. Hoping that the environment change is what's gonna really bring them back here. As we wait for picks and bans to get started up here. Meanwhile, for Burning Core in the Hawks Gaming one, I worry a bit about Hawks Gaming's comps. Definitely last game passed over Aphelios and kind of just drafted themselves in different directions, and none of which was really prepared to deal with the Aphelios. Props for them to innovation, but a team like DFM is not exactly one that you can hope to do that against. So we'll see how they kind of change things up here. I would love to see from the side of DFM, from the side of Burning Core, I would like to see a similar style of comp. I liked the idea that they drafted themselves into, but there's a couple bans you probably need to get rid of Aphelios if that's going to be your opportunity, or to draft Aphelios yourself. And if you're not going to do either of that, then definitely changing a couple picks around so that, you know, you can... So you're keeping yourself safe and you have enough damage to capitalize off of the massive pick potential that your comp sets up. I wouldn't be surprised if in the coming weeks we did see them continuing to explore this path with things like the Twisted Fate. I mean, we did see DFM just playing that comp last game and having it almost work out for them. So definitely like things that are still to be learned and to be developed in this region for sure.
正確性をどんどん高めていきたいというところですよね。あとはそうですね、ユイ選手もですよね。ミッドレーンのところ、あれに関してはそのハニー選手があまりにも上手すぎたので、
And as we're kind of just last little parting notes on these teams, or at least while I do have some time, I did want to talk about the last game and some things that I kind of saw and some things that I think are worth mentioning when you're looking at these teams is this was V3 playing the team fight style and playing for, we have an Aphelios, we're going to set up the traditional team fight front to back, do all of that. That Aphelios really likes to do. And it worked for them. That being said, it was very, very close even when it came to these team fights. DFM were still not allowing V3 any room for error and minimalizing pretty much everything that, every casualty that they took. So, if DFM are going to repeat performance that into a comp like BC, or if BC are going to try to take that, that catch style from them, I worry a bit if I worry a bit for Burning Core if they're going to hold up the same kind of what almost felt like brick wall that V3 had when it came to how they were playing out these fights. There was just so little room for error on either side. And Burning Core is going to kind of need to match that if they want a chance in this one. But we're seeing already Ziggs banned away from Saros. The Bear and Thresh also hitting the ban table here. As DFM, their last ban, are they going to pass a Varus through to the side of Burning Core? Would be an interesting one to be sure, but Karma being banned away, possibly kind of baiting Burning Core in here to see if they have a Varus prepared. Burning Core have a couple of options for their first pick. They can go for Aphelios, but then they risk passing the Varus back over as Yuhi is going to lock the Varus away. And now DFM have their next picks in line. And I'm curious to see how they kind of answer this one. Ezreal Yumi, popular pick, answers kind of poke for poke. Wouldn't be a bad option. And we've seen a lot of priority given over to Ezreal Yumi's in week 2. So perhaps something that we'll see again coming out here by DFM as the Ezreal is locked away. They did ban away the Karma, and the sort of risky position that I think this puts DFM in is that if you want to go poke for poke, you can't. You're risking giving away more at the given moment by locking in the Ezreal, but with the TF ban, possibly leaves themselves open for a bit of a pivot towards the later halves of this draft. And with Burning Core still one pick left, Graves is a little bit of a risky one into TF. You have a lot of potential to get caught out, but the Echo going to be locked in here. Bit of flex potential, could possibly go to the mid lane if they wanted it to, but their next pick is really what's going to be a huge difference maker here, as Pantheon is going to be locked in here, and this is a decent amount of flex potential. Pantheon could be flexed between the mid support and jungle, as well as Echo jungle mid. Multiple options available to Burning Core here as we move into the second half. But DFM still have an answer left. Renekton is going to be the one locked in, and I like this coming out of DFM. Lock in the Renekton, and you open up the opportunity to ban away things like Wukong, as well as possibly look to pinch off a couple opportunities from support if you want to force the Pantheon into the bottom lane. But Darius is going to be banned away, understandably so. It's definitely a Ray Farkey champion, as well as can be kind of hard to deal with as Renekton. If you ever get pulled back in, it's usually death. As Elise is also banned away from the side of DFM. We have not seen a whole lot of Elise's kind of coming back into the meta ever since, I believe, the summer split. I know Elise was insanely popular in the LJL, but it's slowly kind of been pulled away from, and the Lulu ban stands out to me on the side of DFM as a little bit of an odd one, as this is, in most scenarios, going to be a lethality Varus, and one that a Lulu doesn't entirely benefit, or at least doesn't benefit very heavily. Although the Bard ban coming out from Burning Core, Bard, nice compliment to Ezreal, possibly looking to try and force him onto Yuumi, as here comes the Trundle pickup, as Burning Core lock themselves in for a Jace, and their last pickup being looked at here. Drafting up a Yuumi is a good compliment to an Echo, but Galio is the one who's going to be making his way in. Most likely headed into the mid lane with that one and putting the Pantheon down in the support lane. TK would not be a bad pickup for DFM given the amount of threat potential on the bottom side of the map here. They will be locking that one away. And now, on the side of DFM, it's a little bit interesting. The comp doesn't exactly all dive alongside the Renekton. They can play a bit more defensively, while on the side of Burning Core, if this game goes a bit later, the poke from Varus, as well as the ability to pretty freely throw yourself in there as Echo and then just ult back out. Burning Core kind of going for a little bit of a mix of poke and like a little bit of dive potential. I personally probably would have liked to have seen a Zoe drafted up here, as we have not seen Zoe hitting the Rift. Just a lot of bans being thrown her way, but not the plan for Burning Core. But we'll have to see them demonstrate what their plan is as we're loading up here. I'd love to see what's going down in the top lane of things for Evi. I definitely feel like he is someone that can make this Renekton work, and work fairly well up towards the top end of things. But for the top side of Burning Core, it's not exactly an easy time. Renekton, or Jace, is actually an old counter to Renekton, having the knockaway if you're able to buffer that out of the stun. But on the bottom end of things as well, there's a high kill potential and easy follow-ups for once if he's able to find his way down there, as well as just you can roam the Pantheon and the Galio so far around the map very easily, so one of those no lane is safe. But Twisted Fate does give DFM some room to kind of follow up those plays, to look around the map, and if it's a play that can be salvaged, you bet Saros will be there. So
使うパンテオン
We'll see how things go from here.
かけづらいんですけど、
はい
ただ一方でそこから離れた時にやはりタムケンチが、まあ、船旅を覚えたとしてもパンテオンの方が非常に速いですから、そこは結構脅威になってくると思いますね。
まあ、プラウドの得意としているロームがさらに強力になってくるんじゃないかということですね、
はい、
それではここでコーチインタビューの方を見ていきましょう。
はい、こちらにはバーニングコアの3-4コーチにお越しいただいて
And
おり
as
ます。
we're waiting for
よろ
this
しくお願いします。
last match to start up for today, I just want to say thank you all again for everyone who's tuned in and followed for today. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm slowly working my way up to 50 followers, looking to kind of, I'd love to work that up, so by the time that playoffs roll around, that would be an absolute dream come true. If you are enjoying my content, feel free to leave a follow over, you can leave a follow here on my Twitch to know when I'm going live, as well as on my Twitter. I always tweet out what I'm doing, what content I'm making. Expect some more content. I've been talking with Reaper off stream, but we're going to be doing a we're going to be doing a top 5 plays of the week, with a number of them coming from this week, coming from these 4 games today, as there was just a number of highlight plays, but with those coming through, I look forward to kind of offering more and more content kind of as the weeks go by. I'd be in absolute joy to kind of like keep upping that level. So go to my Twitter if you want to see what content I'm producing, and come here if you just enjoy the English LJL casts. Follow me on whichever of those, tickles your fancy, and hopefully be able to offer you some more quality League of Legends.
さあ始まりました LJL2020 サマースプリットウィーク3ゲーム4バーニングコア VS デトネーションフォーカスミースタートです。さてまずスタート
And as we get things started up here, this is going to be again the repeat of Lethality Varus showing up on the Rift, which isn't terribly often seen, and it is. So the thing I sort of worry about when I look at DFM's comp, in the bot lane specifically, is I don't know how much relative safety this TK offers, especially cresting into that level 6. But that being said, I am curious to see how this Lethality Varus does, because we have not seen a lot of Lethality Varus success coming out in the LJL. We usually just see it banned because they know of the impending power that it offers. And DFM favorites in this one, you can see it there on the screen, but I am very curious to see if we'll see, if this will be the first real taste of how strong Lethality Varus is. But as we're kind of looking across here, both Seros and Yu-Gi-Oh opting for the unsealed spellbook, but it looks like Steel might be going for an early gank here. Burning Core have no idea, as Gang's just gonna walk forward, throw down the Ignite. That's a dead Yuhi. And off the back of kind of just one of the most basic ganks that could ever come about. Just no wards. Burning Core just kind of walked themselves into death. Gang got in a great position, and Burning Core just quite wasn't ready to respect it. It's a great way to start things off for Steel in this top side, as Once is going to go for an invade here. Smite's going to go the way of Steel, as he's going to get that one off. Once is coming back for the shield. I don't know if he can actually duel this one out all the way. Recognizing that Seros is coming over here. A little bit of an interesting pop over the wall there by Once to even go for that. Possibly just wants to get vision onto Steel, but he's playing very aggressively early on. Is going to get a Dark Harvest proc here. I don't think he can kill. As Steel gonna throw down the flash. Once thinking about going for it, but now he's just... He will get the kill and Steel kind of... Okay. So there's weird decisions on both ends. One that once even went for that, but two, Steel flashed into E range of Echo and possibly realized that I think he realized that if he didn't flash under turret and once his E went off onto him, he doesn't want to pull him out of turret. But I think the turret shot was already queued, but that's definitely one of those situations that's very, shoulda, coulda, woulda when you're looking at it. Either way, though, for an Echo, not a bad trade to take, as really the early struggles of Echo is kind of getting a lot of gold, and really going 1-for-1 is not a terrible option for you in terms of just getting a decent chunk of gold just into you. It's not an ideal trade, especially when Steel already got first blood, as Once is just once again wandering into the jungle. Once is undeterred by the Trundle pickup, and I'm liking the kind of ambition coming out from him. But with Twisted Fate being alone in lane and Yu-Gi-Oh on back, Once is definitely taking a couple risks here to try and keep this Trundle out. Meanwhile, on the bottom end of things, with Yuhi not starting corrupting, his mana is starting to run out a bit. Does need to be careful down there. Now, one thing I do look at immediately, as far as talking about these first few objectives and how these fights sort of play out, is Yuhi already burning teleport means he may not have the same back opportunity as Udapon moving forward. But then more than that, you're going to have Twisted Fate reaching up to that level 6. Any flank plays are really going to be what could open this one up, as Yuhi is just way more content to be staying all the way back, firing those spells, as Evi going for a little bit of a trade there. Well done on that side, but nothing that is really going to amount to much. As Steel, thinking about trying to make that happen, is going to just run up and throw a pillar at Ray. Almost got stuck in the wall there, as Ray took the Q in, and using the phase rush will be able to get out after no pillar. Great awareness there to figure out how to get out of that one, and honestly, a great escape from the dive overall. I was a little worried there, but knowing Steel doesn't have flash to chase him down, doesn't even have to burn his own flash. It's now Burning Core are going to grab themselves up the Drake in exchange for that pressure. And advantage is kind of growing in different areas. Gold advantage will still be held by DFM for now, but we'll see how things go, as Once is still cresting into that level 6. I believe he should be getting it off of Krugs plus Red, which does seriously begin to kind of move Echo into that online position. That is when you can start diving turrets alongside the Pantheon. You can really start to exert a lot more pressure onto the map. So I'm curious to see where Once tries to start applying that, especially after a rather aggressive early pathing into Steel's side of the jungle. Speaking of Steel, he is going to be grabbing up that Cram on the upper end of things here. Now, Evi going to be going for a little bit of a trade. He knows he has a Trundle nearby in case anything goes haywire. Aceros swaps over to Clarity for a moment to pick up a little bit of extra mana, expecting possibly to see any plays running around here in the early parts of this game. For now, though, really keeping this Galio shoved is going to be the play, because both of these champions want the same thing. You want to be on the map. You want to be utilizing your ultimate to make plays happen elsewhere. Although Sarah's still doing a decent job just to keep a little bit of a CS advantage, which Evi might be taking it all in here. Has Dominus, but Ray Farkey gonna knock away to get that disengage, as for now, Evi is just going to take the back and get away before Once is able to find him. Although that is an interesting note, is that we used to commonly talk about it as with Gangplank, as Gangplank was a little bit more popular. Twisted Fate also has that gold gaining passive. We're going even with CS, but that thought will be held once. Might have just been found out, greeting out for a wave. He will get a stun opportunity onto Evi, but I don't think he can burst him all the way through until the R comes in. That's a lot of damage going over, but will he be able to finish him off? No! Evi kites that one out appropriately, and Saros first to show up to that play and first to the feast, as they're going to find a way to turn that one around. DFM find a good kill once, doing his best to turn that one all the way, but not quite bursting out Evi, and Saros first to the draw there in terms of the ultimates in the mid lane. That's exactly what we were just talking about, demonstrated right there. Not a terrible position to be in, as once was kind of greeting out for the wave in general. Does get his jungle item, which helps him out a lot, but this Trundle is starting to get big, and that is going to be a point of concern, as once is already starting up the Rift Herald here. I don't know if he's going to stick on it. Proud is already here, and it looks like Yuhi is rotating as well. DFM look content to give this one up, as Udapon's going into the bottom lane. We'll just be able to shove that turret in and not lose a whole lot. Good recognition from the side of Burning Core, though. You can already see Yuhi. He ran immediately back down there. Burning Core were trying to invite DFM into a fight, but with no Twisted Fate ultimate and with no Dominus on the Renekton, just take the opportunity to say, all right, we'll back away. We will let that fight kind of fizzle out. Give over the Rift Herald, and Burning Core make the call just to return Yuhi so he doesn't miss too many minions in that bottom lane. Now, interestingly, Yuhi is going for the Ghostblade first on, I believe, it's usually between that and the Umbral Glaive for that early power spike, but first Drake already in their possession, and a minute on the current Drake, they kind of can afford to go for the Ghostblade right away, just get that extra damage and that little extra CDR in your favor. Meanwhile, Udapon is still sitting on a Cull about halfway through that one, and no Sheen means not the most amount of damage, so DFM might be teleporting in here. They're going to look for an opportunity to dive Burning Core. As Evi's going to pop the Dominus early. He's looking for the double dash in. Waits for the stun to go off, and then he goes in. Gang going to eat him up and spit him back out to drop aggro there, as Gang has thick skin to tank that last turret shot. A beautiful dive executed from the side of DFM. Twisted Fate comes in, no ultimate needed, but just superior positioning as DFM find one there. Yu-Gi-Oh's actually going to also get found out here, trying to clear away some vision, not going to get beaten down before he can teleport away with the hero's entrance there. And that should be Drake over to DFM. And that's pretty much exactly what you need to be doing to punish that Varus. Is if he's not going to have the defensive tools he needs, if he does not have his ultimate up, if Proud is not able to offer sufficient peel, then that's free dives, and beautifully played from the side of Evi and Gang to tank up the turret shot. You know, just eat the ultimate, accept that you're going to get stunned. Gang happy to keep his friends safe from any turret aggro, is not actually opting into the Cloud Drake, excuse me. It is actually Burning Core who are going to finish this one off. DFM make the call to back away from it, and when the cat's away, the mice shall play, as Burning Core end up securing the early first two Drakes in this one. Now with Ocean Soul on the menu, the sort of trade-off with Ocean Soul is, of course, it is the more powerful soul, will benefit Echo and Jace immensely on their all-ins, as well as Galio if he's following them up. It doesn't exactly benefit the Varus as much. You do kind of want to look for Infernal Soul if you are Varus. That being said, Not a bad look, as speaking of looking, Rayfark is going to find a crocodile as he's looking in the bushes there. Takes a huge chunk of damage for that one. But once is here, spawning up the Rift Herald. They might be able to just knock this one down. You can see Steel rotating up here. He wants to make the call, but here comes the Abyssal Voyage. The bottom side of things, they're turning plays on their heads as the Shelly charge comes in. Evi doing his best to clear out the waves. Pops Dominus because he knows a Burning Core is coming. A beautiful dive executed there as Proud's looking to kite out with the E. Not going to be able to get away from the Trundle, though, as Steel needs to avoid the last little bit of damage there, but once has ultimate to get out of that one. Beautifully done as Burning Core turn a 1 for 2 up on the top side there. They might be able to find Saros here if the stun is good, but flash away. Saros is going to get himself out to safety there. And I don't believe DFM were able to finish off the kill on the bottom end of things, as Yuhi was able to get to safety there. That being said, Burning Core pulling off a fairly good dive onto the top side. Helps even up that gold count for them. And now Burning Core are kind of in a position where they're starting to... Their comp is really starting to reach its online point. And the nice thing is that the Echo is a lagging kind of indicator in this one of success. Is the Echo typically isn't online until Proto Belt, and it really extends his engage range, but given how many kills Once has been able to pick up, he's really starting to keep pace with the rest of his comp as Proud comes in, first one to kick this one off. The slow is just a little bit too much, and he ends up eating a turret shot there. And Yu-Gi-Oh flashes away. Meanwhile, Once is just content to stand under there and auto-attack for every hit of his passive. Fed as you may be, Steel, you unfortunately don't have that escape option like Echo does. And as it stands, Burning Core are looking to make amazing use of it throughout the rest of this game. Now, Rift Herald spawning up in about 15 seconds. DFM have kind of been a little bit lackadaisy about all of these objectives. They're willing to pass over a lot of them. That being said, I'm not sure what power spikes they're really waiting for, as Yutapon might be found out here. Good eat from Gang to avoid getting stunned up there, as Once eats a ton of trade damage for that one. Gotta dodge out on the Mystic Barrage, but the Steel is gonna get found here. There goes the Chains of Corruption, and Saros is in an interesting position now, but it doesn't look like Burning Core have the room to really turn on him. The TP canceled by Evi on the bottom end of things, so Burning Core will make the call to continue the play anyway, going on to Gang there. Ray is in a little bit of deep waters there, but knocks away Evi. Should be able to escape onto that one. Well, Once just walking down Saros. Here comes the yellow card, but here comes Proud. Stun for stun. There's not a whole lot of escape options you really have there. As Burning Core, multiple times here are the teams that are looking for the play. They're looking to start things off. And it's really working for their benefit, as DFM don't have the most amount of defensive tools to deter plays. As Steel gets caught out here, and Saros has already queued the teleport in. This almost looks good for Burning Core, as they're trying to find Yuhi out, but the teleport gets canceled from Evi, and then DFM kind of need to pick up the pieces, as you have Saros awkwardly routed towards the top side. Yutapon and Gang are trying to finish off Yuhi, and once he flashes away, there's not a whole lot left for you to do. That was definitely one of those fights that shifted very, very quickly in both ways. And if DFM aren't careful, their window to kind of afford mistakes like that is going to start dwindling. As Rift Herald spawned up here, Once is going to try and use that as pressure for this Ocean Drake. Soul Point will really help Burning Core put the pressure on for DFM there. As a Siege is coming in here, charge is good. The stun lands, so you will be able to get all 3 hits. Chunk Steel about to 2/3 HP there. But it looks like Burning Core are happy to just be sieging the turret down. No need to overcommit anything. You just get 2 turrets for pretty much free. But Saros wandering up here has a flank opportunity, hiding in the shadows. looking to make something work as Evi also has teleport. Burning Core are going to be making their way back towards the Drake here. And Saros is waiting in the wings. A couple pings come out. I believe Burning Core know roughly where Saros is, but the longer he stays in shadow, the more uncertain you'll be. The question is, will DFM look to leverage that? Drake's already about to half HP. DFM make the call. Teleport comes in. Yuhi is trying to kite away. Good dodge on the Q there, but he's routed as Evi's gonna just find out Yuhi. Burning Core are forced to route up back towards the top side here. They trade 1 for 1, but that's AD for support. Will Burning Core be able to finish off this Drake is a little bit of the harrowing question now. You lost a lot of your poke damage, but you still have Ray there as he's landing a shock, or landing the shock blast there onto Steel. Another one flying in, but Evi's still full HP for now. Ray looking for an opportunity. Once isn't going to find the stun, but he will find Saros in Zanya's. Yujio's also going to go gold in there to try and buy himself some time. Ezreal going to be picking that one up. Once looking for an opportunity. Ease in. Proto Belt. There you go. You've got 1 for 1 yet again. Mid for mid this time. As Once is trying to find more opportunities. Unipon is just coming up huge. But a huge stun onto Evi is just... Every kill is traded back and forth so ruthlessly. As Unipon is trying to kite things away. Yuhi is back into the fray. Now off of respawn. He didn't even teleport back into that one. This fight was just going on for so long. And in the end of it all, it looks like DFM are going to grab up the Ocean Drake. Unless Once goes for a steal opportunity, he will be warded on his way in. Grabs a Dark Harvest proc, and that's a win as far as you're concerned if you are if you're Once in that scenario. And that kind of shows exactly how much these teams are walking the Razor's edge, and the gold advantage only being about 100 in either side. It's so hard for the members of Burning Core to get onto Ezreal, and every teammate that it costs them to get onto a member of DFM are answering with a kill from the Ezreal. 4-0-2 onto him. But it's getting harder and harder to deny the dive potential that this Echo has. And the damage charts speak for themselves. Almost 10k damage coming out from Ezreal. As Unipon was just really just cleaning house there. Keeping close in pace and damage. Once. Decent amount of damage up onto him, as well as Ugeo finding a lot of damage there, just being able to follow up plays very well. And as we kind of enter into a little bit of a lull state, we're probably going to be seeing a little bit of waiting coming on until Burning Core have their, or until the next dragon is up. Note for DFM, though, is that if they're able to stack up a couple more of these Ocean Drakes, it's really going to help out in denying the poke damage that comes out from Yuhi that is helping set up Once to, or is either finishing the kill off for Once after he goes all in, or painting targets of low HP for Once as he takes an engage. So eyes on him, as it looks like Once did end up purchasing the Medjais. So is ready to keep making plays happen wherever he can. Speaking of plays, he's going to be going for one here. No real stun opportunity as Once is forced to ult away, but Unipon makes the call to chase. That's a lot of damage now. And no flash available, but Once not going to be able to escape. The gold card finds him. Layers of CC upon layers. As that's a huge shutdown given over to Saros, and a huge brunt of damage taken away from Burning Core as Unipon goes over the wall there. Gang says, whoa, buddy. And Ezreal finds him with the ulti in the end. That is a Baron given over to DFM now. I like the ambition coming out from Unipon. He is over the wall, fearless, as Gang looks to try and wrangle him back in, but the ultimate coming out will find an opportunity there. Proud is flying in, but what damage do you really have to follow this up? As Gang's gonna go low, but Thickskin will only buy him so much time, as Proud's gonna also go down there. Steel just gonna finish that one off, as now Eugeo kind of caught in, looking for an opportunity on to steal if he can find it, but not much you can really do. Burning Core really just throwing themselves at that one to try and deter a Baron play. The knockback is good, and Ray Farkey will just be able to run away. Run as fast as you can, but the Baron play is deterred. And Burning Core will negate a Baron attempt from the side of DFM. Now, this was just sort of once overstepping his bounds, as he was looking for an opportunity, did not respect the Trundle slow coming out, or the real chase down potential of the Frozen Fist on Ezreal. And watch this play, ease over the wall, throws so much damage into Yuhi, as well as Gang finding a beautiful W there, actually ends up dodging the Chains of Corruption for Ezreal. Now, Burning Core have kind of kept an aggressive tempo pretty much this entire game, and I expect to see the same when it comes to this Ocean Drake popping up in about 30 seconds, but wants a pick if he can get it. This would be a great time to find it. Saros does have Zhonya's, but that'll only buy so much time, as Abyssal Voyage is coming in. Gang is looking to try to find a route play, kind of turning this one on its head, as Ray Farkey is now going to be the one looking to be caught, as he's going to battle his way back in. They will go all in onto Gang, but that is not exactly a catfish that you can knock down so easily. Meanwhile, the rest of DFM are here in force. Once is in deep, trying to find his way onto Utapon, but he's going to go down. Even after the ultimate is cast, there is no escape option, as now DFM may have just found themselves a free Ocean Drake. You will still have to outsmite the Varus arrow, but that's another Ocean Drake, and that is, like I said, stacking those up is exactly what you want to be doing into if you want to make Yuhi's poke a lot less to deal with. That extra regen is stacking and stacking for DFM. And as it stands right now, it just feels like Burning Core is not able to find the fights in the exact same ways that they were. While they're looking for a pick potential onto DFM, DFM said, we're one step ahead. All of our team is routing you. It's sort of that you think you have me surrounded moment. And in the wake of that, that's sort of a harrowing one for the side of Burning Core. Is you look at that and you think, and you have to really start second guessing what plays you're going to be going for, because Burning Core can't risk that many more picks, especially on an Ezreal, or excuse me, especially on an Echo that is already down to a 0 stack. Magi is pretty much losing all value there. Now, the benefit, of course, for Burning Core is that Echo kind of will continue to scale, will continue to get up those Dark Harvest stacks. The issue is, are you going to be able to get on to the correct targets? That is a tanky Utapon with already a couple items onto him, as Burning Core looking to try to repeat the performance on it, Evi in the top side, but smartly sniffs that one out as the re-engage is here. Utapon looking to just chase down once with multiple spells and slows. Good flash forward from Utapon to eat the E from Eugeo, as Once is going to try to find a way back into this one. Has no ultimate, so he's forced to run away there. Saros is just playing the flanks of this one well, as Evi is just in the middle of everyone, dicing his way through Burning Core's chances in this game. DFM have just turned the fight once again. It feels like every time Burning Core are looking for something, DFM have already kind of played that scenario out, have their heads wrapped around what they need to do. DFM are really the ones coming up saying, we already know your next move, it's okay. As every time Burning Core commit for a play, DFM are there to stop it. And Once it might just get run down here alone by Saros, as he can pretty much just walk into him, auto him down. Not going to flash over the wall there. Saves his flash for now, as Gonna see if he can find him out with a Q, as once is just gonna try to kite back and forth. Is gonna be able to escape out here in the end. A little bit of game of cat and mouse there as Ezreal ultimate fired. Is this going to find once there? On the brim, catches him slacking and backing. Now DFM have really kind of taken this game into their own hands. And we'll watch this one more time. It really feels like Utapon is just coming up so huge with this Frozen Fist. Just so many times he's just finding, Glacial Fist, where so many times he's finding great slows and Echo is just kind of getting run down. You can ult away, sure, but it only means so much. And then the rest of Burning Core are just left in this all-in team fight where Yuhi doesn't have the time to really be slinging arrows like he needs to. And this is sort of something that I want to talk about with DFM specifically, is this is not the first time that they've passed over a lethality Varus, but it is also not the first time that they have completely neutralized a lethality Varus and just not allowed it to get nearly any value. Granted, in this scenario, Burning Core didn't exactly draft for a poke comp. They didn't exactly, we saw Zoe skipped over, Karma was banned away, so some understandable, reasoning behind why it wasn't an all-in on the poke comp. That being said, DFM feel prepared. It feels like they're prepared to not only give teams a Varus where they need to, where they can beat it, but then the way they played into V3 felt very prepared. It felt like they had game plans in mind for each team, and that's something that is really what you expect from a high-level team like DFM. Research shows as Evi is just waiting around here trying to get things going there as Utapon forced over the wall there by Proud's ultimate. Ray Farkey is all in here. Eugio's going to find the W there onto Gang. Gonna burn that one down, but here comes the teleport. That's Evi on the flank here, as the rest of Burning Core are going to need to run away. Steel flash forward for the bite on that one. Eugeo goes golden. Will only buy him so much time, as the rest of DFM are just going to push in the base here. They have Baron long enough. They can really possibly look to end the game here. Once and Proud will need to mount quite the defense if they want to keep this one alive. But it looks like all she wrote, a 10k gold advantage and just clean mid to late game coming out from the side of DFM. They are going to be able to knock this one down, go 1-1 in the split so far, and honestly, a blessing for the DFM fans to see their team really return to form and find a win here. I like watching these kinds of games because I really do believe that the DFM we saw in the online week 1 and 2 was not the DFM that we're seeing here today. So good stuff to them to find a win. This is going to be Dr. No signing off. If you did enjoy these streams, feel free to drop a follow down below. I do cover all of the summer split as well as playoffs. I will be doing games 5 through 8 tomorrow, so if you'd like, you can follow me here to get onto those. But if you're going to be looking at those games live, I have the perfect stream for you. Going to be posting a stream of a couple friends across the ponds. Really, some of the other LJL's finest. Honestly, great team. They work very, very hard on their production, and they have an LJL podcast that you can tune into. Gotta throw their Twitch up in the chat. If you guys are interested in just watching the 5 through 8 right now, highly, highly recommend tuning in over there if you guys are interested. If you guys enjoyed my content, you can follow my Twitter down below or the Twitch here to know when I'm going live next. For now, though, throwing things over to the LJL officially unofficial. Great team of guys, and I really hope you guys are gonna show them some love, as I really appreciate you guys all tuning in. I will be signing off for this broadcast. Thank you all again for tuning in, and we'll hopefully be seeing some more exciting games tomorrow. Don't spoil them if you tune into the officially unofficial cast. But for now, I will be signing off. Thank you again for tuning in. And here's hoping you all stay safe, and enjoy some more quality League of Legends.